butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. I can go anywhere. Friends to know and ways to grow, a reading rainbow. I can be anything. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. A reading rainbow.
Have you ever thought of yourself as an underdog? I have. Going against something bigger than yourself, like the story of David versus Goliath. We all know. Or do we? The story of David and Goliath, which is also the title and in the story of the book I read. Now, the book does go into several stories of people against giants, and giants, as Malcolm Gladwell, the author of the book, says, are powerful opponents of all kinds. I'm going to talk about one story about David. This is a story of an underdog, of a small sheep herder who goes up against a huge soldier, Goliath, and defeats him with a simple slingshot. Is that the real story? Author Malcolm Gladwell tells a different story. I'm going to talk about only 2 points of how David really wasn't an underdog. Why do we call David, or anybody, an underdog? David the underdog. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about David bringing a slingshot. David brings a slingshot. Goliath has a sword. Goliath brought a knife to a gunfight. He's going up against David, who's a shepherd, who has to defend his flock against wolves, bears, coyotes, wild animals that are much faster and smaller than Goliath. No competition. And let's talk about Goliath. The story says Goliath was led or guided up front. Guided? Led? Why? The author Gladwell suggests that Goliath suffered from arithmeology, a brain tumor that affects one's vision and human growth, maybe explaining his extraordinary height. And a warrior with bad eyesight to fight a person at a distance. Again, no competition for David. So David really may not have been an underdog. So what we see in our students, co-workers, really anybody, may not be the whole story. And if we can, let's take the words of Sun Tzu. Believe in ourselves. We can accomplish anything if we believe in ourselves. Things that other people think we can't. Much like David versus Goliath, David and Goliath. This is the reason I chose this book. Much like Goliath's vision, perception may not be reality. You're going to love this book, or my name isn't Robert Veroost.